and see if you can. Yeah, you are already there.
Yeah. So should I just share my screen? Okay, let me just know if you can, see my
Yes.
screen. Can you see my slide deck?
Yeah, we
Yes, we
can see your
can.
slide.
Okay, so yeah, welcome everyone. I mean, so happy like people from around the world are joining this session. So yeah, welcome to my session today on button bookmark tricks in Power BI, which you can just use to, take your reports to the next level. And today's session is, organized by Power BI Bootcamp. So yeah, thank you so much guys for giving me a chance to deliver this session on this platform. So before I start the session, those who don't know about me, I just want to give a little introduction. So my name is Pragati Jain and I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP. I'm also one of the super user at Microsoft Power BI community. So if any of you guys, if you are, active at Microsoft Power BI community, you might be seeing me there, very much active on that platform. Then I've got nearly 10 plus years of industry experience. So in my initial years, I've worked as a database developer, but from last few years, I've moved into data analytics. And currently I'm working as a senior data analyst at Trustpilot here in London. One fun fact about me, not sure if it is fun fact, but for me it is sometimes. So like I'm a painter as well. And therefore, I just like to proudly call myself a techie artist. So that's something that I came up with myself. And if any of you guys, so one thing I'll be sharing this deck and even the Power BI file, which I'll be, taking you through and doing things in Power BI with Power BI Bootcamp. So, you guys can have access to what we do today in this session. And apart from that, if you guys want to reach out to me on social platforms, then I've got my own blog website. Then I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter. I've also included my Power BI community profile link here and my Instagram handle here. So before we start the session, I'll just like to, lay a agenda for this 1 hour thing, like what we are going to do in this next coming few minutes. So today what I have done, I've just, split the session into different parts. So as this session, by the name or the title of the session, I'll be showing you a few button and bookmark tricks, which you can, just use in Power BI to take your reports to the next level. So today I'll be covering these following scenarios. So the first scenario will be, I'll be just showing you drill up and drill down information on a chart by using button and bookmark. The second thing will be, I'll show you how you can toggle between charts. The third will be, we'll just create a simple page navigation. Then the next one will be, I'll just try to show you some images, how you can use images as buttons and bookmarks. Then the next one will be, I'll show you how you can use a drill through button in Power BI to drill through information. And then the last but not the least, a quick way to, reset filters on a report page. So this is what our today's agenda is, and I'm happy to take questions after the session. But yeah, I'll be checking the chat in between. So if there's anything, just put in there, and I'll be happy to take it. So yeah, let's start with the session then. So I've just kept my file ready, Power BI file. So in this so in this I'll be showing you everything in Power BI desktop. I'm not doing anything in Power BI service today, so everything will be desktop focused. And yeah, I'm expecting everyone has a little hands-on on Power BI desktop here, because this session is not the basic one, but the next level to it. So in this Power BI file, I've already got my data imported. So one thing here, this data is a very much anonymized data, which I just created from one of the data I was previously working on for one of my projects with a client. So this data is more around reviews data. So whenever people, like, for example, consider Amazon, when you buy something, you leave a review at Amazon website regarding how was your purchase experience, or how was it, whether it was bad or wrong, or good. And then you try to give certain types of ratings, like if your experience was amazing, then you go and tend to give a good rating on a scale of 1 to 5. So if you see, I've got that kind of data here. So I've just got a platform here, which is eStore, but yeah, it's more around any online platform. Then I've got a rating, what people talk about different products here. So I've got different brands, their categories and subcategories, and even their division. And against every brand or their category and subcategory, customers tend to write some ratings online, like how good they are with their experience with this product. So that's what I have got here. But yeah, this is more around, building those button bookmark capabilities. So I won't go into detail into the data, what it is about, but it's just good to know a overview view about the data. So it has got some sentiments as well, like what kind of, um, comments people have left on the online platform regarding their experience with the product. So they have, some of them have talked positive, some of them have talked negative, some of them were neutral. So it's basically more around brand related sentiment data. So let's start with it. So I'll just toggle between my deck and the Power BI desktop file, because I'll go through everything one by one. So the first task here is, let's try creating a drill up and drill down functionality on a chart in Power BI using button and bookmark. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just create a simple chart first. So I'm just taking a clustered column chart, and as I want to, drill up and drill down using a hierarchy. Okay, first thing before that, guys, I forgot to tell you what bookmarks are basically for. So in Power BI, suppose if you want to, keep or retain the state of a report page, then you can use bookmarks. So relate bookmarks to, for example, you're reading a book, you read for 60 pages today, and tomorrow you want to pick up from the 61st page. So you add a bookmark there to retain your current state, right? So that tomorrow you can pick up from the next page on your book. So take bookmarks, relate bookmarks from that point of view in Power BI, that bookmarks help you retain the state where you basically, retain the state of a page basically. Yeah. So whatever you have on your page, and if you just set a bookmark, it will keep the state and save it in that format only. So let's see how bookmark can do that. So I'll just create a basic chart here first. So on my axis, I'm moving a date field because I want to show you drill up and drill down capability here. And what I'll do, I've just got a simple measure, in my data, which just counts total number of rows. It's a simplest measure in Power BI one can do. So I'll just move that because I just want to see the total reviews over time. Because I showed you data, this is more around reviews. So every row signifies a single entry against a review. So I'm just counting rows over time. Now in Power BI, let me also change the title just to make it less confusing. So this is just total reviews over time. Now in Power BI, we know if you move any hierarchical kind of column to a chart, then it by default gives you these buttons which can help you in drilling up and drilling down in hierarchy. So for example, currently my data is shown at year level. If I want to see at month level, I can use, if I want to see it at quarter level, sorry. So if you see the date hierarchy here, the first is year, second is quarter, then month and day. So that's the order of your hierarchy. So this is my quarter. If I go further down, it shows me by month. If you hover over it, it shows you by month. And if I further go down, it shows me to my lowest hierarchy, that is day. But sometimes this capability, which is inbuilt in Power BI, could be unknown to many users who are new to Power BI. So for example, you share this, you have a report, you share it with your stakeholders or people in management team. And suppose if they're not aware of, this kind of capability, then it's, hard for them to adapt it quickly. Obviously, once you train your users, they're happy to take this and, they can use this drill up and drill down capability. But suppose if they're new, then it's hard for them to do it. So what we can do is in Power BI, you can basically create some kind of buttons here, which can actually help them to, just click the button. Suppose if I have a button here saying quarter, and if the user click on quarter, the chart should change my data at a quarter hierarchy. So that's what we'll build in, because when you visit a web page online, mostly they are very much interactive, and especially the use of these buttons and bookmarks make them more interactive. So that's why you can use that kind of capability here in Power BI to make it more intuitive to your users. So let's see how we can do that. So first thing what we'll do is we'll create few bookmarks. So under View tab here, you have got something called Bookmarks. You open that, a new Bookmarks pane opens. Now here, if you want to create a bookmark, you click on add. Now the first bookmark what I will create is at year, because I want to, create a bookmark which retains the chart's state at a year level. So that's year. Now, as I said, I want to retain state of my chart showing data at year level. So what we do is we just update it. Now, let's try to test it whether this did. So once you hit update, what it did was it just saved the current state of your report page with your chart on this level. Now, suppose if I go to quarter and if I click on my bookmark, it should take me to year level data. If I click on it, it takes me to year level data. So basically that's how you have, I would say configured your bookmark to retain the state of that chart to that particular hierarchy. But now suppose I want to tell you one difference here. So let me add a visual here, a simple slicer. So everyone is aware what slicers are. Slicers are useful in, slicing and dicing at data at different levels. And I'll just make it a simplest slicer, which is my date slicer. So I can, play around with date. So suppose if I select something here, okay, my chart changes. I go to quarter level. Okay. Now, if I use my bookmark here, it takes my chart to the year level, but it is also, bringing my slicer to its original state. Basically, I selected something here, but if I use the bookmark, it changed my, chart to the original state when I saved it and also resets my filter in a way. But suppose if I don't want to see this behavior, I want my bookmark to only act at this visual, not at the other visuals on the page, because on a report page, you can end up having multiple filters, multiple other visuals. So what you do is the only difference what you'll do is you click on your visual, this visual, and make sure it is at year hierarchy because this is a year bookmark. You click on it and what you do is just select the option selected visual. Now selected visual helps you to apply changes to only the selected visual for this bookmark. So use that and update it. Make sure this visual is selected. Now, if I select something in my date, I go to month hierarchy. And now if I select my bookmark, it takes me to year hierarchy without resetting my filter at the top. So that basically gives, a better visibility to the users that they are looking at a data which they have sliced using this filter, but it is also showing it at year hierarchy. So that's just a basic thing that you need to keep in mind when you're, trying to create bookmarks. Now let's simply create 3 more bookmarks, one for quarter, month, and day. So we'll do the same process. We'll go to view. We already have it here. We'll click add, and I'll create a quarter level. Now make sure your chart is at quarter hierarchy. Make sure it is selected. Make sure under 3 dots you are only doing on the selected visual and then update it. Let's test it. If I click on year, my slicer is still this, okay? If I click on year, it takes me to year. If I click on quarter, it takes me to quarter. So it's working. Let's create quickly 2 more bookmarks, one for month and one for day. And again, make sure on your chart, your hierarchy is at month level. Then click on the 3 dots at your bookmark. Make sure to select selected visual and then update it. Done. So let's test. So one thing I would like to, point here, guys, whenever you are creating bookmarks, make sure you test them at every stage you are creating them, because sometimes when you end up with multiple bookmarks and now in the end, if something goes wrong, it sometimes becomes challenging, to point out where things went wrong. So always check them when you're creating them at every step. So let's just test them quickly. Year, quarter, month. Perfect. Now let's create the last one, which is at the day level. So click your chart, take it to day level hierarchy, click on your bookmark, make sure to select selected visual and then just update it. Perfect. Now let's just test it. Year, quarter, month, day. Okay. Now once you have created these bookmarks, you need something to trigger these bookmarks. For that, we use buttons in Power BI. So let me show you how it works. So I'll just create a simple, I'm using a blank button, but you can use other icons, or you can even bring, custom images on your buttons, which which I'll be showing in the next section where we'll be using images as buttons. So I'll just use a blank button for now. So this is my button. Okay, and when you open this format tab, you have got so much you can do with the buttons. So for example, this is my yearly data. Okay, this button I want to link with my year data. So if you just want, you can make sure you're, you can change the title sizes and everything here. You can even give colors to your button if you want in the different states. So you can, like, for example, for default state, suppose if I want to give light, let's give it this. So you can, based on that, you can see what colors you can give. And similarly, you can, change the outlines, or if you don't want outlines, you can remove them. So yeah, that's how you can, configure buttons. But now you need this button to take your chart to year level hierarchy, right? So for that, what you need to do is you need to add an action to this button, which links to this bookmark. So what you can do is under format button, there is something called action. Just toggle it on. If you go there, it opens up with the type of action you want to define for this button. In our case, it's a bookmark. I'll show you a few in the next steps. So in our case, it is bookmark. We select bookmark, and then Power BI by default shows me all the bookmarks I have so far created under bookmarks pane. Now in this case, this button, I want to link with year bookmark. So I'll just click on year. And this is something recently that came up in Power BI this month's update. Suppose if you don't want to show any tooltips on your buttons, you can just use this option. But I generally use it because for the new users, it's really good when they hover over it, they see something against it. So something like click here to view yearly information. I'll just copy this so we can use it on the other buttons as well. So this is your button. Now your button is configured to work as a bookmark. I mean, as an year bookmark. So suppose if I go to quarter, and if I click on my yearly button, it takes me to year view. So we have basically configured a yearly button. Now, similarly, what I'll do, I'll just create quickly 3 more buttons for quarter, month, and date. So I'll just go there. I'll create a blank button. And I just name it quickly as, and yeah, you can name it anything. I mean, I'm just using terms what I feel should be intuitive to a user, but yeah, happy for you to use anything, whatever works in your scenario. Similarly, you can give different, I mean, if you want different colors, you can get different colors as well. But yeah, it makes sense when you're using same colors on the buttons. Now we'll define an action. So defining an action is the most important thing. Rest formatting is something you can do, or you can just leave it out. Again, we select the bookmark because we want to link it to a bookmark. And then we select, as this is a quarter button, I mean, it will show us the data at quarter level. So we select the quarter button. And yeah, under tooltips, I'll just give this, and this will just be quarterly information. Okay, so when you hover over it, you can see the tooltip coming up. Click here to view quarterly information. And when you click on it, it takes you to quarter information. Now let's just quickly create the other ones as well. So I'll just take this and make sure your button sizes are same. I mean, I've used the default size, but suppose if you're changing it, make sure they look of same size, because yeah, the button sizes, if they're different, they don't look good. So yeah, make sure they're of the same size. So that's what we have done. Now let's define the action. Now this is a monthly button, so we want month bookmark to be linked to this. Click and just put the tooltip. Okay, so we can test it. Click here to view monthly information. Click on it, it takes you to month level. Similarly, let's create the last one. This is daily. So that's the daily one, and let's define the action. It's a bookmark, and let's select the day. And yeah, let's keep the tooltip. If you don't want, you can just remove the tooltips. So that's daily, and let's select, just test it. I click on daily, it shows me daily. So suppose, yeah, this is another thing that just came, I think this month's update. Now you can actually hide your pane. Earlier it was not there, so you had to close it and then bring it again. But yeah, this is really nice. So yeah, for example, yearly, quarterly, monthly, daily. So that works. So that's how you can use this functionality to drill up and drill down information on a chart where you're showing a hierarchical information. And let's just rename it. This is drill up, drill down. Okay, so that's the first scenario we covered. The second one is how can we toggle between charts? So let's just create a new page and let's start. Now let me give you a scenario where I have like two charts. Suppose this is my first chart where I'm let's see if I'm representing the same information. So basically total reviews. And what I'm just representing is at month and year level. And just to show that, we can take it to the lowest level. So it shows the data at month and year level. Now, suppose if I have another chart, so what I'll do, I'll just copy paste it rather than creating the other one. And in this chart, I just want to keep my labels on. OK. Now the requirement what we have is we want to keep both the charts, but we want to create some kind of toggle between these charts so that once I click on a button, I should be able to see the chart without labels, and the other button should help me in creating the chart with showing the chart with labels. So that's what basically I want to achieve. Once we do that, then I'll show you where this can be helpful. Let me just make sure first the size of the chart is same. So what you can do is just go to format options, go to general 881 305 881. You'll understand this in next few minutes why this is important. I'll show that to you. Now what I want is in a single space of time, I'm in a single space of report page. I want to keep these charts somehow over each other. And I want a button here at the top, which gives me option to see the labels on the chart. And the other button, which gives me an option to, see the chart without labels. So that's what we'll achieve. So for that, we'll create two bookmarks because we are here around, after two different actions, right? One is to see the chart without labels and one is to see the chart with labels. So let's create two bookmarks quickly. So my first bookmark will be, I'm renaming it switch labels or switch on labels. And what I'll do now in Power BI, there's another thing called selection pane. Now what selection pane does is it helps you to hide or unhide a visual. So for example, if you see there's something called an eye icon here. If I hide this, it hides my chart. OK, and if I just click it again, then it brings back my chart. So using this selection pane and the bookmarks, we'll try to achieve this functionality. Now for that, I'll do one more thing first. I'll create two buttons, blank buttons. And I'll give it a label as switch on labels. And yeah, you can just format it the way you want. And I'll just make it a little bigger and even give it a bigger size. OK, I'll create another one because I want two buttons. And I'll make sure it is of same size. So I'll give it a text as switch off labels. You can give anything like labels on, labels off if you want a small title, but yeah, up to you. So that's how I have got two buttons. I'm just making sure width is same, and you can obviously go to general and general option and see the width and height and make it same. Okay, so now what I basically want is I want a bookmark for switch on labels. If I click switch on labels, it should hide my chart without label, plus it should hide my button switch on labels. Let me show it to you. So if okay, I'm just seeing which chart is which because I just can't recognize them. So what selection pane does is if the titles are same, it won't show you. And even for the buttons, it doesn't show the text. It just show them as buttons. So I'm just seeing what we have got. So what I'll do is I'll just keep this here. So this is this. This is this. Okay, perfect. So I want a bookmark, switch on labels, on which I want my chart without labels to be hidden, along with the button switch on labels to be hidden. Because when I am on this chart, which is showing me labels, I want to go back to the chart without the label. So I need this button to be shown, right? And what I'll do, I'll just update it. Okay, perfect. Now suppose if I unhide it and test it, switch on labels is showing me the chart with the labels along with the switch off label button. Now, similarly, what we'll do, we'll just add another bookmark, and that's switch off labels. And for switch off labels, I want my chart with labels hidden along with button switch. Yeah, along with the button switch off labels hidden. Because when I'm on the chart with without labels, I want to go back to the chart with labels on. So I'll just update it. And what we can do is we can quickly test it. So if I have a button, switch on labels, it should show me chart with labels on along with going back to the chart with labels off. If I click on switch off labels, it should take me to a chart without labels along with the button, which takes me back to the chart with labels. Now, let's link these buttons or create an action to these buttons with these bookmarks so we can use them. So click on switch off labels button first. Then we know there's something called action. We go into action. We want to define a bookmark action. So we go there, and for switch off labels, create the switch, just select the switch off labels bookmark. And yeah, I can just give a tooltip here. But if you don't want, you can just, avoid the tooltip. Let's do no tooltips this time. Similarly, go to switch on labels, go to action. Sorry, click on the bookmark, and I want it to relate to switch on labels. And I don't want tooltip this time, so that's fine. Now let's try to test it, okay? Now if I click on switch on labels, it shows me chart with labels on with my button, which can take me to the chart without labels. So if I click on it, it takes me to the chart without labels along with showing me the button to take me back to the chart with labels. Now, this kind of thing is good when, like, for example, what I did some time back on a report when I was working for a client was we had like so many charts on the report. And on the report, we had like a small space on the top left, and there they wanted these two charts to be. And they wanted a button, just to switch off or switch on labels, something like this scenario. So for this, we thought of doing something like this. So, in a small space of a single chart, you can fit two charts, and you can give the buttons just to toggle between those two charts. So for that, it is very important that the sizes of your both buttons are same, and even the sizes of both your charts are same, because I'll be laying over these charts over top of each other. So if the size is same, they fit perfectly fine. And similarly, you can keep the buttons differently if you want, but it is better to keep it this way. So, you are basically just using a single space. You can even put the buttons on the chart if you like to. Now let's see how this works. If I click on switch off labels, I can see only the chart without labels and my button that takes me back to chart with the labels. So if I click on this, it takes me back to the chart with labels along with the button which can take me back to the chart without labels. So that's what a toggle functionality is. So yeah, this is, I mean, how you can achieve your second scenario. Now the third one, page navigation. Now on page navigation, what scenario I'll put up is, suppose on your report you have got like so many pages. Okay, suppose you have got like 5 or 6 report pages, and every report page shows a different kind of analysis, and they are not, you know, related to anything. So like for example, one page I have got where I have got like brand details, and the other report pages where I'm just showing brand related rating analysis. And suppose there is a third page where I'm showing brand related sentiment analysis. Now I want to create some kind of navigation. So, you know, user just lands on a single page, and from there he or she has a capability, has a functionality to navigate to these 3 different pages independently. So for that, I'll show you how you can create a page navigation. So what we'll do, we'll start with a home page, because we want users to land at a home page and from there navigate to different studies, right? Or different kind of analysis. So just to make things clear, we'll add a simple text box. And I'll just write there, home page. You can make the title a little bigger because this is kind of home page. So yeah, you can make it a little bigger, and yeah, you can give it color, or yeah, I mean, it's completely up to you. You can give a background color to your text, or how you want to create your home page. Now here I'll create 3 different buttons. Let's create let's create 3 buttons. So the first button will be more around list of brands. Okay, so if someone just want to see the list of brands they have in the data, then you know they can just use this button. And similarly, I'll create 2 more buttons. So I'm just copy pasting this. But yeah, you can create a new one as well. Basically, copy pasting just make sure I'm using the right size. The second one could be brand rating analysis. And third one, what I'll create is brand sentiment analysis. Now I'll just create, now this is what we are basically looking for. We want users to basically, you know, navigate from this page to these 3 different kind of studies and come back to the home page. Basically, that's the kind of navigation. So what I'll do to do that, we need these 3 pages, then only we'll be able to create those navigations, right? So what I'll do, I'll create 3 more pages. The first one will be simple list of brands. And here what we can do is we can just create a simple table for now. And what I'll do is I'll just put my brand, the category, the subcategory, even we can put division, we can put platform. So it's like all different kind of information. And guys, please, yeah, don't see at the data. It's like very much anonymized data made by me. So yeah, apologies about that because it's like not in a very good state. But yeah, it just does the job, like just to show things. So it's a simple table here, list of brands. And let's create another page. What I'll do is I'll also add a text box here saying list of brands at the top, so we know like to which page we are while we are navigating to. So sometimes these kind of titles really help at the top of your pages when you're dealing with multiple pages on your report. Just tells you like which page you are on. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just, you know, duplicate this page for creating other 2 pages, because on the home page we have got 3 different pages to create navigation to. So I'll just duplicate this page and I'll name it as brand ratings. So let's just quickly do that. Brand ratings, and in this table what I'll do is I'll move the brand, or let's make it as a matrix. We can have like monthly rating, and we can move like average rating against every brand. And if I drill down, I can see them at, month year level for that brand. So yeah, that's how we have got this page. And let's quickly create the third page, which is just the brand sentiments. Brand sentiments, let's just modify the existing table only. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this, and what I'll do, I'll just move the sentiment here. Okay, and I'll just drill it down. So it shows me for every month how many positive sentiments have got what kind of rating. So that's what we can see on this page now. Now, the next thing is we need to create navigations from home page to these three different pages. So on home page, as I mentioned earlier, we have got these three buttons. So list of brands should navigate me to list of brands. Brand rating analysis should lead me to brand ratings. Brand sentiment analysis should take me to brand sentiments page. So what I'll do is I'll just create an action on these buttons. Okay, so for these, we don't need bookmarks because in buttons, you have a straight away action to create, which is a page navigation. So in the type, I'll select page navigation, and then I'll just select my destination page, which is list of brands. Okay, so once I click on it, it will take me to list of brands page. Now it takes me to list of brand page, but it doesn't take me back to home page. So I need to create something here as well. So for that, what we can do is we can create like a back button. So back button is something we can link to the home page. So if I click on that, go to action, and either you can keep it back, or you can also, create a page navigation saying going to home page. So either way, it will work. So from here, if I click on it, now it will take me to home page. Similarly, for brand analysis, let's do the same exercise. We want this page to take us to page navigation, and it's a page navigation type of button, and I want it to take me to brand ratings. And let's just test it. It takes me to brand ratings, but I also want something to take me back to home page. Now, suppose if I don't set an action, it by default takes me to home page, because back button keeps the state like from which page you are landing to this page, and it by default takes you to the page from which you came to this page. So yeah, you don't need to set a home page navigation to the back button. It will by default take you there. Similarly, go to brand sentiment, select action. It's a page navigation kind of action. It's brand sentiments. Let's just. Okay, so we are at brand sentiments, and let's just create a back button, which takes us back to home page. So this is basically a simple page navigation kind of thing you can do using buttons, which takes you to different analysis. And even suppose if you have got further analysis, you can create another buttons which are taking you down to the detailed level information as well. So that can be done as well using these kind of navigations. So let me just check in the chat if there are any questions. Can't we copy and paste buttons? Yes, you can. So, sorry. Yes, this reset filter is button available there. But what I have seen, Hashim, sometimes when you're trying to train new users, then it's not intuitive to them that reset button filter actually, resets the filters. So sometimes you can give them that capability when you're starting to train your users. Does Bookmark also retain formatting? I think so, but I haven't tried it. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, something to try for. Really like that. Okay, I'm just struggling to see the questions right now. Bookmark can retain data. Yeah, I think Hashim, I agree with you on this. Is there a reset filter button? Yes, it's in Power BI service, as Hashim mentioned, and you can also create a reset, filter button if you want to. Can we have multiple actions defined using a basically single button changes few selected visuals and not impacting other visuals in the same dashboard? I think so. This should work, Krishna, because when you're trying to like the way I showed you drill up and drill down, and we were selecting the visual to retain the state of a button of a bookmark. So if I do a multiple select on the visual, maybe it will work, but I haven't tried this because I've always implemented these bookmarks for the single visual. But yeah, thanks for the question. Something for me to try. I really like that. Thanks for asking that question. Okay, let's do few more scenarios quickly, and then I'll jump into other questions. Can we make these buttons show height for specific users? Um, okay, for bookmarks, I don't think we can do because bookmarks are more around, they just help you to retain the state of data on a page. It's nothing to do with the users. So I'm not sure whether that's possible. That's something I don't think is possible. Okay, let's just go to the other scenarios because yeah, I want to finish the other scenarios as well, guys. I really want to show you two more things which are really good. So let's go on images as button bookmark. Okay, I've got time. So let's create a new page, and on this page, what we'll do is I'll create a simple chart. Okay, and what I'm doing here is I'll just show sentiments over time, maybe. So I'll choose my date and I just want month here, level. And what I'll do is I'll move my total rows there and I'll move my sentiment to the legend. And yeah, so this is a chart basically. And let me take it to different. Yeah, so this chart shows me this chart just shows me total reviews seen against different sentiments identified. So what I'll do is, okay, one thing what I really like to do is give the proper color. Now negative is something red. I hope everyone is liking this color picker which just came out some time back. This is amazing. And for neutral, I want to give something in yellow because that's how we represent the neutral sentiment. And for positive, let's take something green because that's the best one, right? So that's green. Okay, now I'm happy with the colors at least. So yeah, that's now one thing what I want to do is I want to bring in basically 3 images and I should be, you guys can see my screen, right? Okay. Okay, so I basically want to bring 3 images which are related to my
Yes.
Thanks. So what I want to do is I basically want to bring 3 images which relate to positive, negative, and neutral sentiment. And when I click on them, they should show me chart with the relevant data. So if I click on a positive image icon, it should show me data only with positive sentiment. So for that, what we can do is I'll create 3 chart for different sentiment. One is for positive and yeah, let's just do one thing. Let's rename these charts properly. It will just take me 1 second. Total reviews over time, and this is because you already have a filter at it, right? So it's okay to show the actual title that this is just showing the positive review. Similarly, what I'll do, I'll just copy paste this chart and I'll represent and just select neutral. So it just shows me neutral and I'll just quickly change the title just to make sure it is just showing me neutral. And similarly, we create a third chart which is showing me negative. So I go to my visual level filter, select negative, and yeah, I'll just change the title. So we have got 3 charts. I just want these charts to be, I should be able to toggle between them using the images. Basically, that's what we want to do in simple terms. So I'll just make sure I've got the sizes same. We'll just make them a little bit smaller maybe and just take the size. So you can go to format, take the general 649228. So let's go 649 and this is 228. Similarly, go to this chart. So in this, approach also we'll be, laying these charts over each other. That's why, size of them really matter. So you've got the three charts. Okay, now let's bring in our three images. So I've got these three images, one for positive, neutral, and negative. I'll just bring them. So that's my positive. That's my neutral. That's my negative. Yeah. And if you want to give them a proper size, you can even make them, you can give them a proper size, and then, yeah, this size looks good to me. I'll just check its size. So, I can give the same size to other images as well. 116, 115. Yeah, so one thing is there, yeah, obviously when you create buttons, you really need to make sure they look uniform. Otherwise, they just take the charm of the functionality that you're trying to give, basically, in my words. So now what I want to do is, if I click on this positive smiley, I want it to display only this chart and hide these chart. If I click on this neutral image, I want it to display only this chart and just hide the other two charts. And same with the third image. Click on it. It should only show me the chart with the negative sentiment and hide the positive and neutral. So simple thing, we create three bookmarks. First bookmark we'll rename as positive. Okay, and here we'll also use selection pane, right? Because we want to hide the other charts. And one thing here, guys, I want to keep all the images on the report page. I don't want to hide the other two. If I'm selecting one, I just want to toggle them between the charts. But if you want to do it that way, you can do it, because I showed you how you can toggle the multiple things. So in this, for positive, I want to hide my neutral chart, my negative chart. Okay, and just want to keep these images, and I'll just update it. Similarly, and let's just test it. If I click on positive, yeah, positive chart is there with all the three images. That's what I'm looking for. Now let's create another bookmark. One is for neutral. And for neutral, I want to hide my positive chart, my negative chart, and I'll just update that. Let's test it. So positive shows positive, neutral shows neutral. Perfect. Now let's just add the last bookmark, and that's for negative. And in negative, what I want is, I just want my positive and neutral to hide and just show the negative, and I just update it. Let's test these. Positive shows positive, neutral shows neutral, negative shows negative. Perfect. Now the other thing is just to align these charts. Sorry, I'll just make everything visible. Okay, so let's do it. So what we can do is just take the images on the top. Maybe we can keep the charts here. You can make the charts, just make the size based on how much space you have got on your report page. And yeah, just use them that way. And yeah, you can have these images here. Now let's just okay, we are missing one thing. We created the bookmark, but we haven't given these images an action, right? So when you click on the image, go to format image, click on the action. It is the same thing you do for a button when you create a button, do the same thing for images. So now this is a bookmark type. So I click on bookmark. I use my positive, right? Similarly, go to neutral, enable the action, select the bookmark, and this is neutral. You can give the tooltips, you can remove the tooltips, up to you guys. And bookmark, select the negative. Okay, let's make it consistent. If there's no tooltip on the other two, let's not keep it here. Now let's just test them. Okay, so if I click on this, it should show me positive chart. It shows. If I click on this, it shows me neutral chart. And if I click on this, it shows me negative chart. So yeah, that's how you can use images basically to toggle between the charts. So that's the other thing. Okay, perfect. I've got 10 more minutes. Let's quickly finish this drill through thing again. Drill through, then I'll just take the questions. So now drill through. Now, drill through in Power BI is more about if you want to, if you have a scenario where on a summary page, you have the summary information like high level information, just counts or something like that. But if you want to drill into detail information of that entity, for example, if I have got a table here, let me create a table. And on this table, what I have is I just have like my brand and just, the total reviews seen against every brand. OK, so that's something like a summary, page for me where I'm just showing a high level information. Now, suppose I want to drill through or, I want to see details into what this brand one has got, what are its different ratings, what are the different sentiments people are talking about. So we can create a drill through page for this. So how we'll do that is this is my summary page. And I'll just go and create another page where let me take this chart. Let me just copy this chart and just paste it here. And what else I'll do is I'll add sentiment to here. So we have got a sentiment level information. OK, so this is my brand page. And what I'll do at the top and yeah, on this page, I want to show a single brand information. So when you're trying to create a drill through in Power BI, there's something on the right, add drill through field here. Now I want to create a drill through at brand level. The reason is from summary page, I want to see the detailed information for a brand, right? So I create a drill through page for a brand. So I move the brand here and I'm just OK, yeah. And I'm just removing keep all filters. Now, suppose if you had like multiple things here, like in this table, like category, or you have got subcategory. OK, so when you're trying to drill through on brand, if you keep all the filters on, OK, it will take you now. Suppose there's one way of drilling through in Power BI, right click. OK, I'm not talking about the modern visual tooltips, which just came out 2 months back. That's a new functionality. In that case, you don't need to drill through anymore. You can just hover over the data point and tooltip appears where you can drill through. But we'll just look at a drill through button here. So when you drill through and I go to brand level, it takes all the filters in account. OK, all the filters means other columns which I have mentioned on this table, basically brand, category and subcategory. But suppose if I don't want to keep all the filters, what I can do is go to my drill through page where I have got drilled information or detailed information, I should say, and switch off keep all filters. Now, suppose if I go there and suppose if I drill through, it just takes into account my brand information. OK, so that's what I want to show you right now. And what I'll do, I'll just create a card and move the brand name there. So we know like which brand information we are seeing. Now, to do this, yeah, you can right click or using the modern visual tooltip, you don't need to right click and just drill through, hover over it. But here I want to show you how you can use a drill through button in Power BI. So what we'll do is we'll create a button. Let's create a simple button, blank button. You can use images, even you can use GIFs in buttons now. So on this, if I click and just give a text like click here to view brand details. OK, that's my title of the button. And what I'll do is I'll just go to action. And I want to make this as a drill through button. So for example, if I click on this brand, this button should get enabled. And when I click on it, it should take me to brand level information. That's what I want to create here. So I click on my button, go to action, and the type will be a drill through button. OK, and once you make it drill through, you can see the button just got disabled, right? Suppose if I don't select anything, you see it in the default state. But if I go there and select drill through, it just got disabled because this button can only be enabled when you select a data point on your report page. And the destination for this will be my brand level information. OK, you can add tooltips. If you don't want, just switch them off. Now, suppose if I select my brand, this button gets enabled. And if I click on it, it takes me to my brand level detail. And from here, obviously, this is a back. Yeah, so one thing, whenever you create a drill through page, I mean, at the moment you move anything into drill through section, a back button comes up by itself. So if you click on it, it takes you to the original summary page where you have got all the brand listings. So that's how you can use basically a drill through button in Power BI. And yeah, I think I've just got 5 minutes, so I'll just wrap the session now. So have we got any questions? Where did I leave? Can we get the record? Okay. Can we make these buttons show height first? Oh yeah, I think I said this before. I don't think you can do that, but I have never tried it. So yeah, I cannot be 100% sure. But based on my understanding, bookmarks are more around, retaining the state of your data on that report page. So I'm not sure if you can do that for specific users. Thank you. And can we see example of reset filter as mine is not working? Are you talking about the reset filter in Power BI desktop? Can someone just tell me if if the person has responded? If they're talking about the yes, okay. So for example, I'll just quickly show this to you. Okay, I've got suppose two filters. One is for date. And I'm just copy pasting this, guys, just to make it quick. And suppose I've got another filter, which is brand, and let's make it drop down. And another filter is suppose category. Okay, now we have got like three filters. Okay, and let's just copy paste a chart from somewhere. Images here. Let's take this chart, move it here, and what I'll do, I'll just remove the filter from here. Okay, so I see everything now. Now for reset filter, what you do is, suppose if I have selected multiple things and I have done this, done something, selected few things, okay, and now rather than unchecking everything or clearing everything, I want a button which resets my filter. So what we can do is, let's just quickly do it. I'll go to insert. I'll create a reset button. Okay. I'll go there. Okay. And for that, what we need to do is we need to create a bookmark. And what that bookmark will do is reset filters. And this is my original state of the filters. Okay, so I'll just save it. Okay, sorry, I think I selected that and saved it. Save it. Now when I go to my bookmark, when I go to my reset button, go to action. It's a bookmark and it's a reset filter. Okay, now let's test it. Select date, select something in brand, select something in, okay, that's one category. And now if I click on this, it brings back my filters to the original state without any selection. So that's how you can build a reset button in Power BI. Was that helpful? Sorry. Okay, was there a issue with using the buttons in Power BI desktop? Okay, one thing in Power BI desktop, you can only use the buttons by using control click, but when you publish your report to Power BI service, you can just click it and it will work. So there's just a different way of using them in Power BI desktop and Power BI service. So when I'm using the button, I'm actually using a control click. So when you hover over the button, it clearly tells you control plus click here to follow link. But in Power BI service, it just tells you to click here to follow link. So that's how it works. Okay. Out of the box, sorry, what? There are two drill down icons. There are two drill down. Sorry, I just, what was that? Sorry, guys. I think it even works with GIF. Are you asking that buttons work with GIF? If that's yes, I think you can use GIF. And I want my drill through pages only be shown if applied. Is it possible minimizing the report pages shown in default? Sorry, I don't understand this question. What you mean by this? If you can just, reiterate it. Can you drill through on the same page? Drill through on the same page. You mean seeing summary information on the same page by clicking on a certain data point, right? So not drill through. I would say you can use a trick showing hiding and making a visual visible. So you click on a data point, a new visual appears, but it requires some measure creating trick. It's not just what to say, just drill through. It's more around creating a trick around making a visual hide and unhide on selecting a data point. Okay, looks like I have, yeah, I think so, guys. I think the next session is there. So for drill down, there are two icons, whereas drill up is only one. What is the difference between the two drill down icons when the hierarchy is used? Am I out of time, guys? Sorry, I don't want to take the time of the next speaker, but yeah, just message me on LinkedIn or some on Twitter if you still have questions. I'm happy to answer there, because yeah, it's not right to take time of any of the speakers. So yeah, thank you guys. I mean, those who have attended my session today, and I really enjoyed the questions. It's always good to deliver session to different audience. So thank you so much. And yeah, welcome to the next speaker. I'll just stop presenting. I think I've stopped presenting.